Do you know what a VPN is? Gesundheit. What? Nothing, I'm just working on something. What are you working on? I have no clue where to begin to explain what I'm working on to you. That's concerning. What about a IP address? I know what a IPA is. Okay. Is that even close? No, not at all. Okay.
When's the last time you were on the internet? It's been a couple years. I think your dad is a person of interest in a missing person case. Excuse me? Just listen. 14-year-old cold case. Solved, then immediately unsolved.
Oh no.
14 years ago, the 2-year-old son of 80s TV star Beryl Grace, Jason Grace, was reported missing by his older sister. Thalia Grace informed the police that the 2-year-old Jason was missing at the hands of their mother. When questioned, the fallen-off movie star stated that the boy had been taken from her but refused to disclose by who. When pressed as to why she did not report him missing, she was uncooperative and babbling nonsense. A manhunt was initiated due to suspicion that the child was in danger and had not been simply surrendered. Unfortunately, not a single lead was generated from this search, and the case would have no revelations until 14 years later. Here's where we come in. Oh no! Jason Grace, now age 16, was admitted to a boarding school in California. No ID, no transcript, no record of his whereabouts for the last 14 years, and at the endorsement of Tristan McLean, another recently fallen-off movie star. No! Where is this? Law enforcement barely had time to investigate before the boy went missing again. He disappeared from his dorm room, leaving with unidentified teenagers still in his school uniform, and has not reappeared. Months later, law enforcement is still baffled with few leads. When questioned, the school board had a vague explanation as to how the boy was admitted in the first place, with no record of previous education. You're in this too, by the way. Oh, what? The director simply stated that Tristan McLean's daughter, Piper McLean, was incredibly persuasive in convincing them to accept Jason as a student. Oh. Did you charm speak Jason's way into school? Maybe a little. It is unsure what he meant by that, but he declined to comment further. Public confusion and the odd details of this case have led to many conspiracy theories, very few actually grounded in any evidence. Some speculate that the child has been in hiding to escape his mother and only reappeared after she passed in a car crash a few years ago. This offers no explanation for the recent disappearance, however. Some speculate that the disappearance may have something to do with the unknown biological father of the teen, and some have even suggested that it may be Tristan McLean himself. No! Oh my god, for what other reasons would he be attempting to place an ID-less teen in school? This claim has slightly strengthened when a video resurfaced from an unexplained incident at the Grand Canyon about a year ago involving a class from a correctional school. Does the mist not affect security cameras? The students in the video were identified as Piper McLean, Leo Valdez, and who we know now to be Jason Grace, along with 2 other unidentified individuals, proving another link between the Graces and McLeans. Are we gonna get arrested again? Oh god, other theorists have pointed to the dismal grades and odd behavior shown by Jason Grace as being evidence of someone divorced from society, and have pointed to the apparent tattoo and scars on his body as evidence of potential cult activity. The tattoo specifically is of interest as it has been spotted before in varying styles on other teenagers on the West Coast, many during other odd or unexplained events. Oh my god! While this is very out there, it should be noted that Jason's older sister, Thalia, is also currently listed as a missing person after reportedly running away shortly after Jason's disappearance. However, she has been spotted in multiple locations across the country. Unfortunately, the validity of more recent tips is questionable, as the estimated age is much younger than Thalia would currently be. They're on to us! Other theories have ranged from stolen identities, celebrity hush money, faked deaths, dissociative fugue, and even speculated links with other teens that have gone missing multiple times only to reappear in plain sight. So just every demigod. Basically, the current whereabouts of the names listed here are unknown. When investigators arrived to the McLean mansion on Tuesday, they found it abandoned and empty, and other attempts at contacting people of interest have been so far unsuccessful. Perhaps the King of Sparta has more to answer for than bad sequels. Okay, a pun that's a little inappropriate. They're gonna frame my dad for murder! They don't know he's dead, he's just missing. Law enforcement is continuing to pursue the case, but with no particular optimism considering the severe lack of direction and confusing narrative. Any information can be reported to yada yada. I need to call my father. Yeah, baby. Remember how you told me not to Google your name? Did you Google my name? I Googled your name. Well, that's dangerous. So how did you do that? Well, we know that Demigod Safe Internet exists because Daedalus's laptop was a thing. Rest in peace. Annabeth was very upset. Yes, well, I reverse engineered it. Ooh. And using modern VPN technology, I think I've created something safe. You think? Yes, I've been testing it out by just sitting in public spaces and scrolling current memes. That's just click for instant death made entirely too real. Old meme, Percy. I am an old meme. Is that why you dress like a 2000s skater boy? You have a mullet. Hey, it's back in style now. And for your information, it's supposedly called a wolf cut now. In loving memory of our wolf boy. Anyway, I say I think because I'm nobody. I am just a simple teen at the Starbs. Piper, however, has volunteered to do the real test. And that is... I'm gonna make a TikTok account. Which is an app. Correct? Very good. Piper is the elusive and rebellious daughter of a very famous celebrity who is currently under investigation in a missing person case. Excuse me? If she shows up on TikTok, people are gonna notice. I'm gonna become an influencer. Maybe even literally. Do you get it? 'Cause charms speak. If she gets targeted immediately, then we go back to the drawing board. So you're a live test subject. A social experiment, if you will. Okay. What does it have to do with me? You're trending on Twitter. Why? So many reasons. Most recently having to do with a swim meet. I was shooting for second place. Just listen to this headline. Teen assumed to be dead for the second time, shows up to swim meet, and makes Olympic level time. I got nervous. The news was there, and I way overshot my normal time. I bet your coach was thrilled, though. Oh, he was ecstatic. I didn't realize it was gonna put my name back on the news, though. Some of these headlines, dude, you have an entire YouTube series about you. How many views does it have? So many. That explains a couple things. I had some video quoted to me at school. They asked if I was in a cult for some reason. Did they think you were just gonna say yes? Listen, Percy Jackson first appeared in the news at age 12 when he and his mother, Sally Jackson, went missing after a car accident. His stepfather, Gabe Ugliano, testified to the news that Percy was a dangerous delinquent that had killed his wife. He corroborated this with Percy's long rap sheet having attended and subsequently been expelled from 6 schools in the previous 6 years. Is that true? It's more like 7, 8 now. A man after my own heart. I thought you liked your stepdad. He sounds awful. Oh, this was the other one. Paul's great. Okay, good. It was revealed later that the two had been kidnapped and separated, both escaped their captor, Sally Jackson returning to her home and Percy being spotted with an unidentified girl who we now know to be Annabeth Chase, and another student named Grover Underwood before returning home as well. The news actually managed to speak with Percy during the incident, where he quickly won over the reporter and promised free appliances from his stepfather's company, although what actually took place was never fully explained. I forgot I did that. Investigators were left to speculate about the incident, most prevalent accusation being that the whole thing was a life insurance scam. Gabe Ugliano redeemed the life insurance policy on Sally Jackson before she was confirmed dead. A few weeks after Sally and Percy returned, Gabe himself disappeared and is missing to this day. It is theorized that Ugliano absconded with the money and potentially orchestrated the whole incident as the crash took place in his car. He was also a consistent poker player in a considerable amount of debt. It is unknown if Sally was in on this plot or not. However, the mother and son quickly moved to nicer accommodations and better schools. It's explained that this money came from the sale of a piece of artwork created by Sally, but she has not followed this with any other notable works, and many say that this is a weak cover story. Okay, solid theory, except Gabe is dead. Really? Oh yeah. Can I ask what happened? So the art piece that my mom sold was a hyper-realistic stone statue called the Poker Player. Okay. And part of my first quest was to chop off the head of Medusa, which still works after you cut it off. So murder. I didn't do it. I just supplied the resources. Plus he was like an actual monster. Got it. So what else does it say? Yeah, let's just gloss over that murder confession. Many aspects of this incident are still unexplained, including a wild claim that Percy leapt from the top of the Gateway Arch in Chicago and somehow survived. Multiple eyewitnesses attest to seeing a teen leap from the arch enough to warrant investigation. Security cameras witnessed an altercation between a teen identified as Jackson and an adult with a poodle. The camera failed to capture the rest of the incident and the claims were discarded as impossible. That happened. How? Dude, I honestly don't know. I do have a little bit of a theory, though. Explain? I think someone intervened. Poseidon? I don't think so. We hadn't even met yet. So? I kind of tested this theory with 2 vials of poison. Oh my god, Hazel told me about this. Wait, what? The idea was that I was too valuable to the prophecy for Gaia to just let me die prematurely, so I challenged her with a 50-50 chance of me drinking poison, and I was right. She told me she had great plans for me. And you think that extended all the way back to when you were 12? Maybe? She started messing with me when I was an infant, so you might be correct. It's weird. I wonder about Jason as well. Like, how did he spend that much time with the wolves as a little child and not die, like, even accidentally? Huh. Paul bought a bunch of parenting books because he's never had an infant before, and toddlers are not to be trusted with anything. They can't even have grapes unsupervised. What do you think he ate as a child? Like, certainly not what the wolves ate, right? Oh. You've upset the vegetarian. Okay, I can buy into some intervention. I don't want to think about that anymore. That's why I'm retired. I've used up all of my immunity, like literally it washed off in the river over there. That is a scary thought. Hey. YOLO. No, Percy. Oh my god, no more dead memes. Leo, keep going. Okay. Other claimed sightings of Jackson include on a bus where an altercation with 3 unknown elderly women took place. Furies. Percy was reportedly threatening them with a baseball bat. Riptide. Other passengers were unable to confirm if the women were traveling with Jackson originally or where the baseball bat came from, as he seemingly did not board with it. It is speculated that these women could be Jackson's captors or in cahoots with Jackson's captor, as an unknown man is still the #1 suspect. Aries. Other passengers have said that the women may have recognized Jackson from the news and the teen simply panicked during an escape attempt. These claims have not been corroborated with any physical evidence, and Jackson was not present when law enforcement arrived on the scene, making eyewitness testimony our only evidence that Jackson was even there. Much more concerning, however, are claims that the teen was involved in a gunfight on a beach with the unidentified man thought to be his captor. Also, Riptide. Why such a violent cover-up? Is a gun not more dangerous than a sword? Once again, it's unknown where the teen sourced a gun, most likely explanation being that it was stolen from his captor, who was holding a similar one. No wounds were reported, and both escaped the scene before the law enforcement could get a hold of either. Jackson was recovered soon after, returning home of his own volition, either by successfully escaping or some have speculated he was released, citing the whole incident as a scam. Positing how a 12-year-old boy could have escaped from such a heavily armed individual and claiming the outlandish details of this case to be intentionally misleading or intended to make the boy seem to be in extreme peril to sell the story, despite Jackson returning unharmed and never taking legal action against his or his mother's captor. Unharmed is a strong word. The boy has been shielded from questioning by higher authority, and Sally Jackson has declined any attempts to get her to explain these events. With no positive ID on the unknown man on the beach, the 3 elderly women, or the individual on the arch, the case has hit a dead end and has remained dropped as none of the known parties involved have sought legal action. Wow. Yeah, and that was just my first quest. I got a little better at avoiding the police after that. Is there more? Oh, we're not even close to the swim meet part yet. This is just a sea of related articles. You could have a whole book written about this. Oh my god. Alright, let's keep going. Should I make popcorn? Should we call Hazel? Frank? I'm sure he would find this entertaining / concerning. I mean, you guys road tripped all the way to New Rome just for this, so let's make it worth it. That's for research purposes. Oh, by the way, congrats on getting your driver's license. Thank you. The excessive paperwork was harder than the actual test. Have you ever had to prove yourself unmissing? Yeah. Just keep reading. Oh, right. Also, I'm technically back in the foster care system, a side effect of being unmissing. but there's no way that I'm leaving the way station. From what I've heard, I don't think Emmy and Joe would let you. Who are they? Ex-hunters of Artemis. Super cool older lesbians. They run the way station. Current foster mothers of one Leo Valdez. Awesome. Wait, you can leave the Hunters of Artemis? It's not easy or recommended, but they're just that cool. Huh. There's a lot more to that story, but that's not what today is for. Speaking of research, shouldn't we include Annabeth? The article mentioned her name earlier. She's in class right now, but the other two should be here in a little bit. Should you be in class? I'm not wearing a watch. No, I'm not supposed to be in class. Go on. Okay. The case may have been left to grow cold had Percy Jackson not made headlines again a year later after being involved in a massive explosion at Meriwether College Prep. Students were reportedly playing dodgeball in the gymnasium, and according to Eyewitness, the game had escalated to a violent level. Meriwether College Prep is a, quote, progressive school that does not give grades and promotes a less structured and free will curriculum. Our gym uniforms were tie-dye. Some have criticized the lack of discipline for the students and have pointed to this particular incident, saying that the coach should have intervened before the game escalated to this point. It was initially thought that Jackson was the one who set off the explosion due to the point of origin and eyewitness testimony. Security cameras showed Jackson and another unnamed student exiting the locker room a few minutes after the other students. This was seen as suspicious, and it was insinuated that this time frame could have been used to hide something on his person or conspire with the other student. The coach, however, stated that this was a normal occurrence, and the two consistently arrived at PE late. Mood. This suspicion was also disproved as there was no explosive devices found, and both students seemingly had nothing on their persons, being in full view of the security cameras up until the moment of the explosion. The explosion was eventually blamed on a gas leak, a stray lighter from the pocket of an unnamed 7th grader, and an aggressively thrown dodgeball. Truly a freak accident, but some have continued to insist that Jackson was involved somehow, citing the low possibility of these things actually being to blame for such an explosion, and seeing as he and the other student fled the scene immediately and did not return to the school, some calling this suspicious behavior, or an attempt to lay low. Percy Jackson's name, being well known, seems to have clouded public opinion, and many seem to forget the unidentified student with Jackson, who not only left the school but has not been spotted since. Even more concerning, the school seems to have lost any records regarding the student, and the security cameras were never able to capture a clear image of his face to make any notable search for the student. Who was that? Tyson. He went to school with you? That's how we met. We were classmates. I didn't even realize he was a Cyclops till Annabeth pointed it out. Now, how did that escape your keen attention to detail? I don't need the sarcasm, Piper. It was the mist's fault, okay? I was still falling for it, apparently, and he was very tall. And I was not. And I had really bad posture. And I was always kind of seeing him out of my peripheral vision. How tall? You've seen him. No, you. I was in 8th grade. Answer the question. Annabeth was taller than me. Proximity to Jackson seems to have made a clever scapegoat, as any suspicion of conspiracy immediately fell to Percy Jackson due to his history. However, evidently, he is no more suspicious than Jackson is, as none of these claims could be corroborated with any physical evidence, as all security cameras were obscured by smoke, and boiled down to the two simply being in close proximity to the explosion. Jackson was once again barred from questioning, and the event remains simply a freak accident. Wow. Yeah, I really didn't even do anything. It was all self-defense. A bunch of the 7th graders were Lastragonian giants in disguise with flaming dodgeballs. Hey guys, what's up? Talking about flaming dodgeball. Whoa, goodbye. Frank, come back. We're not talking about playing it, just an anecdote. Sounds like something you would do, Leo. I am wounded! But you're totally right. That would be a terrifying weapon for fire reasons and for bad school memory reasons. Write that down, write that down.